London Stansted Airport has a single runway, but both ends are used at different times. Aircraft using runway 22 take off towards the southwest, and aircraft using runway 04 take off in a northeasterly direction. For safety reasons, aircraft must land and take off into the wind. This means that the choice of which end of the runway is operating depends on wind direction. Most of the time at Stansted, the wind comes from the southwest, and on average, runway 22 operates about 70% of the time, but this can vary considerably from month to month and year to year. Arriving aircraft approach UK airspace from several entry points when headed towards Stansted. Once inside Stansted's airspace, there are no fixed flight paths. An air traffic control, or ATC, ensure that all aircraft are safely separated by controlling the speed, direction and height of the aircraft prior to being established on the Instrument Landing System, or ILS, also known as final approach. The ILS is a beam which is aligned with the runway centerline in order to guide aircraft in a straight line approach to the runway for landing. However, when the airport is busy, arriving aircraft may be placed into a holding stack, a racetrack pattern which aircraft fly whilst waiting their turn to land. Stansted has two holding stacks, one to the northwest called Laurel and one to the northeast called Abbott. At Stansted, on average, over 94% of aircraft perform a continuous descent approach, or CDA, to runway 22. This is a technique whereby an aircraft descends on a smooth, continuous glide path, therefore staying higher above the ground for longer. This reduces the level of arrival noise heard on the ground and emissions. Currently, aircraft cannot consistently perform a CDA on runway 04 due to airspace constraints. One of the aims of airspace modernisation is to reduce existing constraints and implement a systemised arrival route structured to allow for a CDA to both runway ends. Aircraft will follow more precise and accurate routes which will reduce the number of people overflown and decrease the amount of fuel burnt. We will also look at ways to provide respite or relief for the communities, which could involve creating alternating routes. More information can be found on our website www.stanstedairport.com/future airspace.